Introduction. I don't know if I was worthy of all those words, but I really feel honored to be here tonight and to speak about my experiences, and if I can help anyone along those lines. I'm not only here today, but always by email or telephone. I'll always be here if somebody wants some kind of initiative on starting something afresh themselves. As introduced, I am a pharmacist by profession. I still own a pharmacy with a special interest in cosmetic science. In 2005, we had a little crossroads in our business where general pharmacy business trade was declining, as most pharmacists will tell you, so we had to reinvent ourselves. And I decided to open a one-stop health and beauty center in Kensington. Beauty business is every woman needs. It's a growing business, but I had to come up with something different. Why my beauty clinic in central London was going to be different to anything else. Now, most of the people that used to come to me, okay, other than the normal things you go to a beauty clinic for, a lot of people were asking what to do about the dark patches or pigmentation or hyperpigmentation. And it's not just about general skin lightening. So I did a lot of research in that topic. As you probably imagine, we had a lot of flack on the mainstream media about skin lightening, but they do not realize the problems most Asians have. So I saw a gap in the market, that there was Asian women who had this problem and really needed to be able to speak to a fellow Asian lady. So using our expertise and a lot of laboratory time, we have perhaps the only company in the world that has 6 products just for hyperpigmentation. So we specialize in from very mild to very deep pigmentation. As you can imagine, some ladies have really dark patches and they don't know what to do about it. Now, when we did this in 2006, UK was still a very new market. People were still not into the skincare. Even now when you talk to people, most even Asian ladies about skincare, they sort of have a little blank and you really have to tell them what it's all about. So I decided to go to the Middle East, who seem to be about 10 years ahead in skincare. We opened our first office in Dubai in 2008, and despite the downturn, the economical downturn, we survived, and not only did we survive, we grew exponentially there. So Middle East, to all the GCC countries, and Saudi Arabia being our biggest market, as you can imagine. But there was one snag, and the snag is, as a woman, I could not do business in Saudi Arabia. In fact, they came to see me in Dubai to do the business deal, and even the distributor there, when I was speaking to him, he was sort of answering on that side. And my daughter, even with her short mini skirt, he refused to look at us women sitting on one side and was answering to a third party in a different corner. Anyway, nonetheless, I decided to persevere. I knew it was a huge market. I was actually invited there by our distributor's wife to come and introduce the products. I went, and the first thing that was a bit of a shock to me is, as soon as you come off the airplane, you have to be in the full hijab, otherwise you can't even leave the airport. Anyway, I did it, but I must tell you, the upside was we had fantastic reception. I was taken to the best palaces and entertained like never before. So we are used by the Middle East royal families because they found something that was actually working for their skin types. Now, the reason we actually did for the Asian and Arabic skin is because they were the ones who first approached us. Going on from there, a lot of, as you can imagine, there are skin types 1 to 6, 1 and 2 being the white Caucasian skin, 3 and 4 the Asian skin, and then you have 5 and 6, which is the darker skin types. So the next port of call, as far as pigmentation and skin lightening were concerned, was naturally South Africa. So we went to Johannesburg, had one of the most wonderful receptions and entertainment there. But another horror story, when I got there, all our products are skin lightening, and that's a banned subject. We didn't realize that. So all our packaging had to change, so they take out the word skin lightening and just say products for hyperpigmentation, to treat hyperpigmentation. So all these countries, when I went, they all had their own little stories where I could not really do the model I wanted to do. So it took us another couple of years to get our packaging right. For example, if you want to sell to America, the way you write the ingredient list is totally different to how we write in England. There are certain wordings which are not allowed in certain countries. For example, in Malaysia, you can't even use the word anti-inflammatory because it means it's a medicine. So we have had a lot of ups and downs, but the one thing that really took me through it all is my sheer determination. And this is the one thing I would like to impart to all women, is to just persevere and not let these small ups and downs make you feel as though it's a blank wall. Everything is surmountable, and it's just getting down to seeing where you can really get down to that little problem. I was new in business, not new in international business. We had our pharmacy for 30 years as a community pharmacy, but to do international business was totally different. And I did my first international exhibition in 2008 in Dubai, Durban, which was a great success. They loved the products. They couldn't believe the kind of skincare we came up with was exactly what was needed. It wasn't just a big branding. We're not a big brand. We're still a family-owned business. But the success of the brand came in the need that we come up with, the branding and the niche market. So 3 things that I would actually point to for most women who want to go into business is, first of all, find a niche market for yourselves. Because if you're going to be another Me Too product, you really are up against big competition. We are up against L'Oreal's and Clarions of the world who have billions of pounds of dollars to spend on marketing. We can only go on our products and the quality and the actual addressing the problems that you are actually talking to the end customer. So number 1 is your niche market. Secondly, you have to persevere. If you give up on the first hurdle, you really have given up. And believe you me, if I tell you these stories and the horror stories we've had right from beginning, and for example, I'll give you another thing that happened on the first day. We made these. We went to an exhibition where we saw this beautiful packaging, and I had this. I don't know if you're familiar with the packaging. We have silver-colored pots. So I gave an order for 10,000 pots and went and got the boxes made for the pots that fitted it. So the minimum quantity was 20,000 boxes. So I made the 20,000 boxes and ordered the 10,000 jars. So I went, another company approached me and they said, you know what, we do the same jars 20% cheaper. So obviously you're looking at cost cutting, so you're thinking, okay, let's place an order for the next 10,000 with this other company who were giving much cheaper and at a shorter time scale. So we ordered the pots, everything done, and the horror story was the boxes didn't fit those pots. Those pots were just like 2 millimeters higher than the others, and we were ending up putting sellotape on the boxes, and it really was a disaster. In the end, we had to throw it away. So there was a lot of money wasted, but we had to just gravely bear it and say, okay, we won't do it again. So even if somebody says, my pots are half the price, we say, forget it. It's not going to fit the rest of my planogram, so it's out of the question. So there have been a lot of stories where we have made mistakes, and everyone's going to make a mistake. Business means making mistakes. There's no one person who's going to have a successful formula from day one. And the whole thing is just persevere and follow your heart. My heart was to create good skincare, or the best skincare for Asians. Till we brought out our range, I don't think there was anything that was cosmeceutical. Traditionally, Asian skincare has relied on Ayurvedic or herbal, which is what our parents and grandparents have traditionally used. But something that's actually cosmeceutical, science-based, with clinical evidence, I don't think there's any brand that has addressed that problem. After hyperpigmentation, we went into scarring and stretch marks, which is another problem that most Asians suffer at a higher degree to our white counterparts. So again, we have done quite well on that. But that's my story. It started as a pharmacy, community pharmacy, to an international business in 6 years. And it can be done, and I hope in the next 4 years, on my 10th wedding anniversary, 10th business anniversary, we should have conquered the world. And that's my story.